TBISE, the best in sports entertainment. We're here live in Empowerment USA. TNS Media Group is a team and a family. So this week in boxing, we had some big fights. Notably Benavides, Morrell.
Yeah.
This fight was a test of both champions fighting for each other's belts and so forth and so on. Benavides, this will be his second fight at 175, I believe.
Yes.
And he's taking on a young champion like Morrell. A lot of people were saying that Morrell had a chance, which he did. He came to fight, but ultimately he came up short in this fight. What did you take from this fight between these two young champions here?
One thing I took was Morrell is definitely going to be a great fighter as long as he stays mentally strong. As long as he stays mentally strong, he'll be a great fighter. Benavides is a great fighter. He's a great fighter because he's not afraid to test himself. Also because he's not afraid of adversity. He got hit with some good shots in that fight, but he kept fighting. You know what I mean? He kept dictating the fight. He kept pressing the fight. I love how he fought that fight. You know what I mean? He brought skills to the table, but he still was the same animal that we know. You know what I mean? And I think that's where Morrell fell short. He never really got to show us what type of animal he really is. He got to show us how he prepares a meal and how he devours a meal, but we never got to see him, go through adversity where somebody's looking at him like a meal. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that fight we definitely needed because we was getting a little oversaturated with Bivol and Benavides. But when you got two young guys like this go at it, now it looks like, hold up, wait a minute, we got some new opposition in the building. You know what I mean? It's not the same two guys we arguing about. So they made things interesting, definitely, both of them. But I feel like Morrell just was, his downfall was just a lack of experience when it came to fighting on that level. We've seen Morrell put on beatings, and that's what he do, and there's no problem with that. But we have to be fair and understand that the opposition he was fighting was no match for David Benavides. But even though those guys that he fought to get him there to that point were no match, he still was good enough to be in there with Benavides to put Benavides through some type of troubles and trials and tribulations. You feel me?
Yeah.
But Benavides showed why he's the better fighter.
And you look at it now, David Benavides, I think he's the regular WBA regular champion now, and something like that, in WBC interim champion. Right. But now you see that performance by him, right?
Yeah.
And you fight after fight, time after time, he's just showing why he should be on a pound for pound list. Probably why he's the best.
Right.
I mean, at one of the best fighters out here. But you look at that and it's like, yo, who do you think can beat this guy with this height, this size, this punch output, these skills, this determination? It's like at that weight, 175. I mean, we got Benavides there, but that'll be a fight that'll be crazy. You can put them two in the ring, but it's like still. This talking about David Benavides and his skills is only right from the fight. Benavides, I believe it's a fight he got to make at 175.
I still see Anthony Yard from the UK, Benavides, Bivol. It might be one more out there. Oh, the kid from England, Ben Whitaker.
Okay.
I'm saying him because he's a big thing. He's a big deal over there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes, and I'm only saying that because we don't know if Benavides and Bivol is done with their feud.
Yeah.
That first fight was so close between them, Bivol might win the second one.
Yeah.
And then they have to fight a third time. And then that'll leave Benavides just sitting there trying to see what's going to happen. So he's going to need some work meanwhile. You know what I'm saying? But if it came down to Benavides and Benavides, tough. If that fight was right now, I think I was a slight edge for Benavides.
Yeah.
But the more Benavides goes through it with Bivol, I believe Benavides will have a better chance because them two are going to beat each other up, and it's going to take something out of Benavides. Yeah,
because they have a fight up and coming. So, but this David Benavides now, if you look at the skill, like I said, the skills of him, and you wonder why. I'm not saying Canelo's scary, but looking at him in the eye test and watching him, he probably he hasn't really showed. I mean, I don't know, I could be wrong, but he hasn't showed a weakness really that I've seen. Really, I mean, he's keeping his weight intact. He shows that he's focused on his conditioning. He shows that he want to be the best and determined it's hard to beat a fighter. You may know it's hard to beat a fighter who has the skills, the determination, and the discipline.
Yeah.
It's hard to beat somebody like that.
Yeah, and there's just a lot that comes with him. You know what I mean? If you think about the height, the speed, the power, the intensity level, you know what I mean? The way he cut the ring off, all types of stuff. A Canelo with 60-something fights right now, he might be like, I don't feel like that. That's a crazy workload. It's just like you get offered a job, but you have the chance to say no. You looking at the job and you're like, I can't do that right now. I don't feel like I don't have the manpower, so I ain't doing it. You know what I mean? And I think that's what the situation is. I think if this was maybe like 7 years ago, for 6 years, 5 years maybe, I think Canelo would have fought him. But right now, where Canelo's getting older and the money is mattering more, I don't think he would mess with Benavides.
Yeah, Benavides is a tall task for anyone. I mean, I would like to see him match versus Bivol and Benavides at some point. And he's still young. He's very young, a very young fighter. And I think he's probably the youngest out of all those fighters. But, you know, just seeing him. And also another thing, they were saying that for a while, they were saying Benavides was ducking Morrell. He didn't want to scare stuck in the smoke. And then he takes the fight and does that.
Here's the thing. Morrell should feel lucky he took the fight. Benavides took the fight when he took it, because had they fought when they was talking like that, he might have stopped Morrell. You know, Benavides might have stopped him. Benavides had been through things already that Morrell hadn't been through, and he knew that, and that's why the fight turned out the way it did.
And does Benavides, does he get the credit? Because Morrell had 11 fights. You know, a lot of people saying he was fairly young in his fights. And do we get the credit for that?
You know why he get the credit? Because he's still an educated fighter, meaning Morrell. Morrell's still an Olympian. And then if you look at the shape, he was in great shape, Morrell. The skills, you saw great skills. You saw will, you know what I mean? But you just didn't see it all come together. You seen him get broken up a little bit. So I still give him credit, because how many guys are really going to beat Morrell right now? And this fight, I believe, is going to make him better.
Yeah, we'll learn from it. See what happened with Canelo and Floyd. So, you know, so we'll see what happens in regards to this. But it's TBISE, the best in sports entertainment.
Yes, sir.
MegaCare LLC, giving you an abundance of what you need. Do you know that MegaCare LLC has been top rated in home care since 2020? If you have a loved one, a neighbor, a friend who needs home care, if you're looking for top pay, 401k, benefits, health, call now, 215-644-8341. That's 215-644-8341.